Welcome to this live broadcasted news release with satellite company Ovzon, listed on Nasdaq Stockholm Small Cap, and we will be given a short presentation followed by a Q&A. CEO Per Norén and CFO André Löfgren are joining us in the virtual studio. Please welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matthias.
So before I hand over to you to present, Per, what emotions goes through you as you sent out this news release this morning?
Well, it's a fantastic day for our employees, for our customers, and for our shareholders. Obviously, it's a long-awaited sort of breakthrough. I would say we've been working very, very hard and investing in new technology, our own first satellite, new mobile satellite terminals, and other unique technologies. And we've been out working with the market and customers. And when a big order like this comes in, it's almost like graduation day in one way, not taking anything for granted in the world we live in. So it's a fantastic day. I feel very privileged to have such unique colleagues in the company that have made this possible as well.
Okay, thank you, Per, and please go ahead with your short presentation.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this impromptu webcast, obviously following our announcement this morning, Central European time, that we have just signed this morning an order, a contract with the Swedish Defence Materiel Administration to a value of 1.04 billion Swedish kronor. We'll talk you through a little bit what the order contains, and our CFO André Löfgren will talk through what it means from a revenue recognition and cash flow perspective, and the schematics of how we are going to deliver this, obviously. But first of all, also a big thank you to the Swedish Defence Materiel Administration that have worked tirelessly and very progressively with us to conclude this order as well. As I said, the total order value is about 1.04 billion Swedish kronor, about $110 million. It's divided in, so our services is, as most of you that follow us, is an integrated satellite communication solution that includes both mobile satellite terminals. Think of them as the mobile phone where you get the signal and connectivity. You have to have it. It includes satellite networks through satellites, obviously, and it includes 24/7, 365 days a year support and service, meaning dedicated support and service that the customers get to use. We ensure that they have basically 100% connectivity and uptime for everything we do. So we're very unique in this regard in the world today. It's Swedish technology. So I think there's a correlation here between looking at the Swedish Defence Materiel Administration's procurement and that we're a Swedish company that have come to fruition here with this. We've of course worked very long time to both, I would say, educate and deliver these kind of solutions and capabilities through many years, but this comes at a time where the geopolitical situation in the world has created an absolute need for having guaranteed connectivity, and satellite might be, in most cases, the only way to guarantee that. You can see that it's divided into services from a revenue perspective and mobile satellite terminals. André will talk a little bit about how that is then divided up from June when we start to deliver and through the 2 years, 24 months that the contract is on. When it comes to the terminal side, we have a very strategic portfolio, both unmanned or terminals that are both for stationary, meaning on the pause, we call them. So manned and unmanned, and also on the move, that can be put on any type of vessel that is in the air, on the ground, or on the water. So you combine both the on the pause operational units using and on the move with movable vessels around the globe. So it includes all of those that we today have in our strategic portfolio. And obviously, if I'm going to end the introduction here with, it's obviously a significant milestone for Ovzon and all of our stakeholders, obviously, and it becomes a critical milestone for continuing to build, scale, and accelerate the build out of Ovzon. And historically, if anyone has questions on this, we've normally procurement of these kind of capabilities are normally on 12-month contract because of the nature of working business to government. So many contracts are kind of on the budget year. I think we have now reached a point where satellite communication or integrated satellite communication that we can provide becomes a strategic component in any type of defense, military and civil defense, national security, and public safety. And therefore, you want to ensure that you have long-term access to that kind of capability and can build up the business cases and the use cases for it with the end users in the field. So in summary, largest order in Ovzon's history with a value of 1.04 billion Swedish kronor. Extremely proud of the technology investments, technology choices, our employees, and glad that our customers are working very closely with us, and also pleased for our investors and shareholders with this milestone. I'll hand it over to you, Andre.
Thank you. So I'll give you some details on the actual delivery schedule of these services and terminals, starting with the services on top here. We have a contract today that's up and running, and as Per said, this is then a renewal of that, but not only that, it's also an expansion of the services. So it will start now with an expansion already now in June. And then as this current contract expires, there will be then a renewal. And both of these renewals and the expansion is for 24 months, as Per alluded to. So that's the services part. Then looking at the terminals down below, you see that there will be roughly 1/3 of the terminals being delivered pretty soon. And then there will be 2/3 of these terminals that are handed over gradually throughout 2025 mainly. So 1/3 almost soon, some calibration with the terminals, and then it will be delivered. So if we then go to the next slide, we can see a few details on revenue and cash flow. And it's more of a reminder of how we recognize for things. So when it comes to revenue recognition for the satellite services, it's on a straight line basis over the contract period. So that will start now then as we start up the services. And then when it comes to the terminals, it will be recognized once they are handed over. The terminals are handed over then to the customer. So that's revenue. Cash flow, it's a milestone structure of these prepayments. We will be invoicing now for a certain period, and then there will be follow-ups of more invoicing dates as we deliver these services for over these 2 years. And for the terminals, it's when handed over, we are also sending an invoice for those terminals, which of course will generate the cash flow for us. I hope that makes it a bit clear. I hand it over to you again, Per.
Thank you, Andre. We can go to the next slide, please. Well, we wanted to have this webcast also to ensure that the amount looks very big, obviously for our company, and it is obviously for us. But it's important to understand how the revenue and the cash flow is actually being calculated, so we have clarity on that. Huge day for us as a company. I think huge day in lifting our heads a little bit. We've been working very hard. It doesn't change what we've done. So we've invested the year prior to Ovzon 3, our first own satellite being launched from Cape Canaveral on January 3rd, 2024. We've invested years before that and now in both working with customers in foremost Sweden, Europe, NATO, US, obviously, most of our time. It takes time to be in business to government, and it takes time to reach both the end users that are actually going to use this for their missions, as well as decision makers on a higher level. It's shown that in geopolitical uncertainty that we live in the world today, satellite communications, and specifically when you can guarantee connectivity in an integrated fashion as we can do, and you can do it both for manned and unmanned missions, it is very, very critical, whether it's military defense or civil defense. So I think this is about protecting and connecting, protecting a society and people, and connecting those that actually serve for us in that regard. So huge a platform for us to build from as well. It has not changed our going forward kind of drive and mission. It's all about delivering financial performance for us. Of course, we get a boost in increased order intake here, and you saw from Andre's slides, revenue and cash flow as well. So it doesn't change that. It doesn't change to ensure our commercial success. It's very important for us, and it's in our cultural DNA to make sure we make every customer reference so they repeat. We can deliver current and new solutions always. So our customers is our number one priority. We say customers first. Of course, we want to fully utilize Ovzon 3. I might do a slight comment here right now on this. So you could see in our press release, those that have read it, that we say that this is third-party capacity. It is true that it is. It depends a little bit on a couple of things. One is where the customers have their missions, where they need to use it. So Ovzon 3 covers a third of Earth. So that's one of the reasons. Number two is it's important for us that have one satellite, that we also make sure we have third-party capacity available so we can build solutions and networks in all parts of where our customers want to operate. So ensuring that is important. And thirdly, we do have strong discussions with a number of customers around Ovzon 3 capabilities, but we have a fairly positive view on the future ahead when it comes to utilizing Ovzon 3, but also we have the flexibility to utilize Ovzon 3 if we need to, if we want to, in this case as well. So we have the best of all worlds in mixing and matching to build networks that actually fits the needs of our customers. Just an important comment. We continue to focus on our core market segments, defense, military and civil defense, national security, and public safety. And we're very focused on the relevant geographies, which would be then Sweden, Nordics, Europe, NATO, and North America, basically right now. But this can expand later. But I think we're at the size of a company where focus is required. And then, of course, scaling up, as I noted, customers first, our strong base of employees that work around the clock, business ubiquitously. So this is one of those in-between days in the Swedish calendar. But as you can see, we work around the clock to make sure that we leave no stone unturned, and we focus on our business. And of course, this takes our Swedish technology now and delivering value with that technology to customers. So I think going forward, this is what we're focused on. We're focused on connecting the world's critical missions via satellite. And it's a big day for our company, and we're very pleased with the collaboration with the Swedish Materiel Defence Administration. Thank you. That's what I had, Matthias.
Thank you so much, Per and Andre. And there are some questions from the viewers that I would like to raise. First off, you already commented on the third-party question here, but will Ovzon 3 deliver these services? And if not, according to ABG, Ovzon 3 is utilized to 40% in the second quarter. What is your comment to that?
Thank you for the question. Now, I was trying to be proactive in kind of addressing that question because I know that those that follow us will have a question on it. So I'll repeat it again. Number one is we need to make sure that we have ample capacity and capabilities from satellites, including our own satellite. And this is has been a chance for us to do that. So we can mix and match here, but we are also in dialogue with customers in our focus geographies and markets for Ovzon 3 as well. So we have the chance here to capture a third-party capacity that is very, very strong and good. So we took that. We have the possibility to utilize Ovzon 3 here should we want to and need to, but we also believe that we have a chance to also further enhance the utilization of that potentially with other customers in other areas. So I think we have the best of all worlds, and we don't comment yet on the yield or the utilization rate of Ovzon 3. As a reminder, we went into commercial service in July last year, so we're less than 12 months away from that date, and we don't comment on that because of competitive reasons and other reasons, but we see a good progress on increasing the utilization of Ovzon 3. That's what I could say about that. But thank you for the question. It's very good.
Okay, thank you. And here's a question from Mr. Marco Barone from Future Warfare magazine. And it goes, will you need to expand your physical assets such as additional satellites, new terminals, different technologies, etc.? Thank you.
And thank you for the question, Marco. Very, very good question, obviously. Yes. When we founded the company, when the company was founded, the idea was to have a fleet of satellites, obviously. For those that have followed us and other satellite communication companies, you know that it's not for the faint of heart to at least get your first satellite designed, built, and launched into space and then getting into commercial service. So we've been really focused on that. But we are looking into, so it covers a third of Earth, Ovzon 3. We are looking into adding more satellite capabilities to our already existing Ovzon 3. It's early stage, but we're actually actively working on that. At the same time, obviously, the mobile satellite terminals plays a very essential role because that's almost like mobile phones, right? That's where you get your signal, as I said in the introduction. So we are very strong on the pause side. We're increasingly strong on the move side. We continue to see that we sit on unique capabilities and competences in designing and developing those. So that's also part of the portfolio. And the third aspect of our technology is our onboard processor on Ovzon 3, which is one of a kind in the world, an innovation we have created. And we can see with those customers that utilize that gateway in space, that we've moved the intelligence from ground to space, is very essential as well. So all three categories of more satellites, new satellites, more onboard processing capability, and mobile satellite terminals are on the docket for us to investigate and see if we can invest in and move forward on, so we have a fleet of capabilities that have global reach.
All right, thank you. And another question from a viewer. What is the impact on the margin profile, given that you will also utilize a third-party capacity?
Okay.
If I can comment on that one. I mean, we have already third-party capacity today. So this is just continue as we have done in the past. But of course, our margin depends on the mix between Ovzon 3, third party, and terminal deliveries as well, quarter to quarter. So it's very hard to say, or we're not giving guidance on that either, but it will in every quarter be a balance and a mix of these components.
Thank you. And can you give put some color on what the 1,818 million Swedish kronor services includes?
think it's 880 million Swedish
880
krona,
million.
right? Yes. Well, do you want to take it? I'll start and you can
Yep.
can complement, Andre. Good. Yes, it includes satellite capacity. From that capacity, we build networks. So it includes building a number of networks where we provide the end users the capability of utilizing our integrated satellite communication services. So that's why, you know, the more terminals you have, the more capacity and capability you need to provide, so that you have what we call the Ovzon coefficient: high performance, so high data throughput; high mobility, meaning mobility and movability; and high resiliency, meaning that you ensure guaranteed connectivity at all times, which are our three. You know, we take great honor in utilizing those three in the coefficients: performance, mobility, and resiliency. So short answer, capacity is going to be used to build a number of networks for the use of the end users.
Yeah, and I can maybe add to that it's, as I said, both an extension or a renewal of the current services that's ongoing, and then an expansion as well on top of that.
Thank you. And when it comes to an order in this size, how are you equipped to be able to deliver to new customers in this size?
Yes, excellent question. You know, I think for our company, if you look back, it's never been a question of, if you go to the people side first, we have the competences and skills and the infrastructure to deliver from small to medium size to large networks and integrated solutions. So I think we are well equipped there. We have automated a lot of things, and but of course it ramps up the intensity in work, specifically in building the networks and delivering the mobile satellite terminals. But that we can scale quickly. Two, as I alluded to in my answer on Ovzon 3 versus third-party capacity, this has given us a chance also to capture third-party capacity and have Ovzon 3. So we don't feel that we're holding ourselves back in being able to deliver other types of contracts of this size, bigger or smaller. I think that's what we've designed the way we design networks and deliver the services on, from that effectiveness of mixing and matching own capacity and other capacity as well. So we feel very confident, I would say, in our ability to deliver both this and future and current customers.
Thank you. And regarding today's order, there is a question from a viewer. How much of the order will be booked as leased capacity?
Yeah, the whole service, the satellite services part is third party. And then we have terminals, which we stated in the release that it's 220 Swedish million of the whole order. So the rest is our services.
Thank you, Andre. And if we look forward, when will you launch the next satellite of your own, and will it be called the Ovzon 4?
We'll start with the name. Likely, as an engineering and technology company, the logic would be to call it Ovzon 4. Yes, that's logical for an engineering company. But jokingly aside, as I said, we're investigating. We've evaluated the technology we have on Ovzon 3. We're looking at that, and we're actually talking to those that produced satellites right now about what it would take and how long the lead times are. I think it's fair to say that when a decision is made, it will take between 24 to 30 months. And 24 is probably sporty, but 24 to 30 months from decision and start build to launch and being able to utilize the satellite in orbit. Yeah. There are some other alternatives. Could we put payload on other satellites, meaning our onboard processor, etc.? But I think we'll keep it at this answer right now. But I think the viewers should know that we're not resting on our laurels. We're looking at how we can have more Ovzon satellite capabilities in space.
And what would the aggregated cost to launch Ovzon 4 be, roughly?
That's what we're looking into and evaluating.
Yeah, but given that you already have done it with Ovzon 3, will that make you more effective?
Likely we have a lot of learnings, or I know we have a lot of learnings. Per, maybe you could comment a bit more on that, but that's my impression, at least, that we will definitely do some learnings and be more effective and efficient.
There are efficiencies to be had here. Listen, we did this for the first time. Now, our partners did not do it for the first time, so they are, of course, knowledgeable in all of this. But we also added a lot of new technology in the design, and we had COVID in between and supply chain issues globally when we produced Ovzon 3. So there should be efficiency gains to have only from external events, and then there should be efficiency gains to have from internal insights and knowledge. We sit on an enormous knowledge actually on a lot of these things, so there should be efficiency gains, but more to come on that as we announce things potentially in the future.
Okay, and could you please elaborate a bit on the scalability in the gross margin ahead? What are the fixed costs in COGS or COGS?
Yeah, I mean, we can, as we grow now the order book, we can definitely increase top line, and when it comes to then S&A and those kind of things, it should not move in tandem or in the same angle, so to say. So I think we can, by growing the company, should probably be able to get some high margins bottom line.
Okay, and considering this deal is with a NATO country, will this increase your possibilities on delivering, getting orders from the NATO?
That's our hope, and hope is not a strategy. But I would say that in order for NATO to have interoperability between different countries and units, satellite connectivity is needed. I think and it's on the. We know that that's on the agenda for NATO. But I think we have to be fair to say that the member countries of NATO are foremost responsible for procuring, but NATO could set potentially a standard for what type of, in this case, connectivity that could be. So I'll avoid answering if it could mean more orders from NATO, but pointing out the fact that I think the member countries are the procurers mostly, but potentially there's a way to actually build on this and other things to have interoperability between different units and countries.
Thank you. And is Ovzon at all looking at acquisitions in order to grow your business?
Very, very good question as well. Well, we have been extremely organically focused, obviously. We have done all of what we have done on our own. I think that will continue. That's our basis for how we run the business, organic. However, in the scaling up, you cannot neglect the fact that you might need to add capacity, capability, and other things through mergers and acquisitions. But that's nothing that we really are considering for the moment. But we should never say never. But the organic is the core of what we do and how we do it. And we feel very confident that our IP and patent portfolio, what we have, and our scaling up methods for what we do and how we do it are sufficient for the time being.
All right, and then we can fit in one last question. What should investors look out for regarding Ovzon and the rest of 2025?
You want to start, Andre?
I think now we've proven that we have a much stronger order backlog with more visibility. So I think, steady growth ahead, and then we see, as Per said, we are in interesting dialogues with other potential customers, etc. So I think, it should probably be a bright future as it looks like.
I can wrap it up and say one of the core elements have been, since we've been in development stage here for many years, and and now have, our full solution has never been doubted, but we are now in full capability here, also with this major milestone. Predictability has been key, as Andre is alluding to, and this creates predictability in revenue and in how we scale the companies. I think that's the core and the basis for this, a lift up in the predictability, and then continuing to penetrate the market. I think the three things I had on that last slide was deliver financial performance. Questions around that: revenue recognition, cash flow, EBITDA, net profit. Focus of ours, obviously. 2, ensure commercial success. So ensuring that we deliver, we win customers, we make them references, we expand with them, we build with them, we continue to utilize our own capability in Ovzon 3, and then thirdly, actively scale up the company without losing the integrated core we have in what we do, how we do it, and that we're really focused on delivering customer value with technology and making sure our employees and our shareholders are in lockstep with us for that. I think that's what might sound boring, but I think we have found a recipe for success, and we're going to continue with our recipe for success.
Okay, that will sum up today's broadcast, and I want to direct a big thank you to all the viewers, and of course to Per and Andrea for all your answers.
Thank you, Matthias. Very good session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfekt.
Tack för idag hörni.